All right, ladies and gentlemen, as you can hear, just real quick before we get started, as you can hear, my voice is shot. I finally had my wedding reception this past weekend. As you can see by my shirt, I'm officially married as, I mean, always and forever.
Nice.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is episode 62 of the Essential Wrestling Podcast, powered by the Eastern Observer. You can taste the power, and I'm going to be drinking a lot of the power today. My voice is shot, and we have a cucking crazy episode. We have 3 shows to pick today. We have 3 major points on the line. WrestlingPick'em.com. So let's not waste any time. Down on the bottom part of our screen, we have the first ever Pro Wrestling Pick'em champion, the living legend, John DeConti. John, how are you today?
Not bad, Al. How about yourself?
I'm doing well. Thank you for sending up the Winged Eagle Championship belt with your brother for me to take a wedding picture with him. That will be on air as soon as I get it back. Came out perfectly, absolutely an amazing belt. You had some stories in pre-production about it. Maybe you and Ryan on the Daily Wrestling News Show, you can do an episode. Give yourself a little belts episode. You know, there's nothing going on today. Give you guys a little fun with that.
There you go.
At the wedding, actually, was Mike Vada's cousin, John Smith. Now, John, real quick before we get to the hellos with you, I know the big reason it was a huge event on Sunday, my wedding reception. We were schmoozing with the bigwigs of the Eastern Observer. There we have Joe McMahon, producer Joe McMahon, and the sheriff, Tyler Adelle. Everybody was present and accounted for.
Yes, great time this weekend, man. It was great to finally meet those two, and you know, I wasn't just at the wedding; I was in the wedding, and it was one of the greatest wedding, or probably the best wedding reception that you'll ever see. So I can't wait till the video comes out so I can see it.
I can't either. I did a proposal. I played fast money for my wedding vows. It was a complete bleep show. So, you know, if you were there, you never forgot it. You know, and I'm sure there was bootleg copies. Somebody probably there's probably bootleg copies being sold outside in the parking lot. Today's episode, Gary Mehaffy is back with us to discuss NXT. So the fact that there's so many stuff that's in the main event, that's the first time I think I've ever headlined the headlines with Gary. Usually he's a little bit farther down the bottom. Gary's going to be a big match between Trent Seven and Eddie Dennis last Thursday. Ryan Joy is back with us this week. He'll be discussing the results from Ring of Honor Best in the World. I don't think CM Punk showed up, which was a little disappointing. Not sure why they would call it that if Punk wasn't going to be there. So who knows? Maybe Ryan can chime in on that. We make our picks for this week's upcoming shows. As you can see, no stick figures this week. Like I said, Ryan Joy is back. All the statistics and the graphics on the show are always presented by MinutesToBellTime.com. And, of course, our picks are sponsored by ProWrestlingPick'em.com. Play against your friends. Play against the universe. And, guys, she'll like it, too. We're going to main event the show. Like I said, we have a cluster bleep of shows to pick today. We have Fyter Fest Night 1. We have Slammiversary. And we have Money in the Bank. This is absolutely going to be nuts. And we actually have a very special guest in the Money in the Bank segment. She will be making her picks in her first appearance on the Essential Wrestling Podcast. Maggie McJoy has been killing it. She will be on air later in the episode. We're looking forward to have her. But we're going to curtain jerk the show with the Great American Bash in NXT. Absolutely phenomenal show last Tuesday night. Watching cover to cover, not a bad thing on it. And John DeConti, the main event was Cole O'Reilly 2. Electric Boogaloo, as you like to call it. Straight up, they professional wrestled each other this time.
Yeah, I mean, these two are fantastic. They got more than enough to, they got almost 25 minutes to just put on a barn burner, and it absolutely was that. Cole was nursing his knee injury from the heel hook the week before that Samoa Joe didn't help him get out of quickly enough. But the first, 5, almost 10 minutes of this match was just the two of them beating the hell out of each other. It wasn't even so much professional wrestling early on. It was just two people who absolutely hated each other, beating the living daylights out of each other. And then eventually they would get into the fact that the two of them are amazing technicians. And, Cole mentions Kyle's wife, so Kyle loses his mind and gets a little over-aggressive. That leads to him getting slammed into the ring post outside. He eventually would take a Panama Sunrise outside. Eventually, they'd get back in. Cole would miss that top rope diving knee. That would lead to him taking a last shot, but he kicked out. And then he would get the Panama Sunrise once again with the last shot combo. And Adam Cole, baby, ties it up at 1-1 in this blood feud with the pinfall victory.
There you go. So you're right. Now the series is at 1-1. As good as 1-1. Best 2 out of 3. It's tough to beat a guy 3 times in the same season. We all know that. So, it's 1-1. Is there going to be round 3? You know what type of match it's going to be, and hopefully nobody rolls and dislocates their ankle this time in match 3, and everyone wastes their money on it.
We don't worry about that fake stuff.
Yeah, you can see that whispering like, this is where I'm going to hurt myself. I saw McGregor whispering. Terrible. John Smith, we have new women's tag team champions. This one threw a wrench in a lot of our shows. It ruined my perfect pay-per-view. Everybody but Gary got this wrong.
Yeah, I mean and we all should have known that Tegan Knox thing was going to happen during the Candice LeRae match because the cat was out of the bag on the charging battery. We all heard that Tegan had a dark match or whatever recently, and so we kind of ignored that and just all thought that the Way was going to hold on to their titles because this was thrown together tag team of Io and Zoe, but. You know what? Maybe Triple H did this because he wanted Io to stay. And he thought that Vince was going to go pluck Io up onto the main roster, sooner than later. So I like the idea of them being the champions. We just didn't see it coming, No,
like I said, we were talking about it. We kind of figured it was teasing. And John Smith, you called it months ago. I think there was some other takeovers. Oh, this is where Tegan's going to come out and beat the crap out of Candice. And all of a sudden, when we just couldn't put 2 and 2 together on it. We were so close. But unfortunately, this will not be the last time. And not unfortunately, but 100%. We haven't talked about her in 9 months or however long it's been. We're going to be talking about Tegan a little later on in the show as well, as she got the potential call up. They did call her NXT Superstars on Smackdown, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. John Smith, staying with you. We had a comment from James Wheeler. He's coming in hot right off the bat. I guess LA Knight can call himself Batman right now. He's got a butler.
Oh, I see what you mean there. Yeah. Not a very loyal butler, to say the least. But, the last match I went over, we didn't see coming. This, we all knew what was happening here. LA Knight was going to keep that $1 million title, at least for now. And, it would be a much more entertaining angle with Cameron Grimes being forced to be his butler. So they had, hell of a match. It ended with a DDT on the outside where the ref couldn't see on top of the $1 million title, rolls him back in. Or no, he came in just before 10, then just got put down with LA Knight's finisher, that almost stunner-looking thing that's more like a DDT going forward or whatever. But, very good match. Exactly what we expected, though.
Yeah, I believe he calls it the BFT. I'm not exactly sure what that stands for. Maybe somebody can chime in on that one and YouTube land. Hot off the press right now. I just got a text. You throw him on screen and he appears. Sheriff Tyler Adelle just sent me his picks for Money in the Bank. We're good to go, boy. Yes, exactly. Here's the tease for the end of the show. Stay tuned. for Tyler Adelle, the sheriff of the Houston Observer, for his picks on Money in the Bank. John DeConnie, a lot of guys were on Ciampa and Thatcher. Travis and I were not. We got that right. We stayed true. I called Grizzled Young Veteran, so I was off on my prediction. Why? But I got the points for it. I'll take it. What happened here?
Yeah, you just thought that GYV was somehow going to play into this because they've had words with MSK. They absolutely hate Ciampa and Thatcher, so it was a no-brainer. They were going to get involved at some point in time here, except for the fact that they didn't. This one just went, just went straight forward, start to finish. And God, Ciampa and Thatcher are so good together. Two guys that, one's generally a brawler, the other one's an absolute, mat technician, and they're fighting the two high flyers. And man, their styles just matched perfectly because this was, 15 minutes that was just so much fun. Ciampa and Thatcher in the beginning, they just, they were picking them apart. They were putting on a clinic, and of course MSK had their little bit of a comeback. But all right, I almost never complain about NXT, but I really didn't love this ending. This, you had the fairy tale ending, you had that powerbomb neckbreaker combo. And it all ends with, two partners kind of bumping into each other, distracting each other, and the old Raw roll-up on NXT's Great American Bash. And Wesley grabbed Thatcher, inside cradle, rolled him up for the 1-2-3, MSK retains.
Yeah, there goes NXT ripping off Raw. I think everybody was a little let down. See, leave that on Mondays. Just leave that. It's good to see every once in a while. Like I said, I think I said it last week. Just keep us on our toes every once. Raw, fine. You want to have 5 on a show, whatever. It's a 3-hour show. But every once in a while, you got to keep us on our toes because then when they do it, you're like, oh my god, he can actually get pinned right now. And then when he kicks out, you're like, oh shit. So the Great American Bash, I don't think I would have done it, but yeah, that's
the women's match ended with a freaking roll up too.
Did it really?
The women's tag match, yeah, because
I thought she hit the moonsault.
I thought it was I guess
Zoe hit that.
I thought it was a small package.
That flipping go to sleep.
The K360, she calls it. Thank you for putting whoever is in NXT running production. He put that on the graphic. That's the name of her finishing move, or else I wouldn't have known it. The K360.
Ah.
Okay, so that was the Great American Bash. For the most part, we got some stuff leaking into tonight on NXT, and we'll get to the points and the scoring from the Great American Bash after we make our picks for upcoming. So we have our breakout tournament starting tonight. We have no brackets as far as I know, but here we go. The same tournament that brought us Cameron Grimes and Dexter Lumis and Bronson Reed and Joaquin Wilde and so forth. We're doing it again 2 years later. So the first match we had Iki Jiro, if I'm saying that correctly, Iki Manjiro going up against Duke Hudson, who we saw last summer as Brandon Vink tag teaming with Sugar Shane Thorne. His real name's not Sugar Shane, but it's just Shane Thorne. Who is now, I believe, Slapjack presented by Popeye's Chicken. I hope they do something with him soon. But we got Brendan Vink back on TV. He's now known as Duke Hudson. John Smith as our senior NXT correspondent, and I'm sure he's done a lot of deep digging on these breakout guys. Who do you got in this match?
Yeah, I'm actually not going to pretend I know a single thing about either one of these guys. And I'll just take the Japanese guy because Hunter loves Japanese people.
Hey, there you go. John DeConnie, who do you got?
Give me Duke Hudson because I don't know either of them.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the fact that this guy is Brandon Vink, and we do know him. We've seen him on Monday nights. We've seen him do a roll-up. He's pretty good at it. I remember the episodes 1, 2, 3, somewhere in the very early stages, I was talking with Tyler. They defeated Ricochet and Cedric Alexander. Like, they were almost in a 14 division. They were ranked like 2. Like they were almost in line for a tag title shot for where the champions were at that time. So like he's all right. So we know who he is. We don't really need him to break out in this because we already know this. So I'll go with Ike Manjiro on this one. We have Saray last week or 2 weeks ago. She went to Commissioner Regal very politely, very respectful. She asked for him after Tony Storm. Tony Storm pretty much, I guess, said no. Gigi Dolan stepped up. So that will be tonight. Saray takes on Gigi Dolan. John DeConnie.
Yeah, I don't see any reason why Saray wouldn't continue her hot streak here. She came in with a lot of hype, so I assume it's going to be a while before we see her take a loss.
John Smith.
Yeah, I agree completely. Unless Tony Storm makes an appearance, but I think she's got the call up now, so I don't think she's going to be on this week.
Yeah, that's true. And Gigi Dolan, Saray, about your damn look. And then a real big announcement last week at the Great American Bash, pretty cut and dry. Regal brought out both Karrion Kross and Johnny Gargano, said enough is enough. It's time for a change. Shot out Owen Hart. And they're going to fight. So everything goes accordingly. Samoa Joe will be the special guest referee in an NXT Championship match between Karrion Kross and Johnny Takeover, but this is not a takeover. Johnny Gargano, the leader of the way. So, John Smith, you giving Johnny a chance here?
I'm giving Johnny a chance to win by disqualification. I am not giving Johnny a chance to take the title. I think maybe Samoa Joe will disqualify Karrion Kross at some point for some BS reason or something, and maybe Johnny. I'm going with Johnny, but not to win the title.
Okay, so now Joe is not allowed to touch. This is Sheriff Steve Austin or Commissioner Steve Austin from way back when. Joe is not allowed to attack unless he's physically provoked. Can you see a reason why Kross could accidentally bump him? Joe puts him to sleep. Johnny covers him, John DeConnie?
Yeah, I see. In fact, I kind of see something like that happening. You know, Joe's back is turned. Maybe he's dealing with Austin Theory at ringside, and Gargano shoves Kross into Joe. Joe turns around all pissed off, and, you know, maybe Kross goes 99.
And then Johnny just happens to go in the cover. Are we talking new champion? You calling new champion here, John DeConnie? Like, wow, he's got the side plate. John DeConnie got the side plates ready for Gargano. Very, very impressive. I think James, there we go. James Wheeler, he's chiming in on something. I saw Karrion Kross. I didn't read this yet. This will lead to a rumor, man. It could.
I was gonna throw that in there. That this is a really creative way to get the title off of them if they were trying to get the title off of them without making them look weak.
All right, Ryan Joy chiming in. They both predicted Johnny Gargano. Him and Travis this morning on the Daily Wrestling News Show. That's bold. I mean, I know Johnny's having fun. But Johnny's irritating the crap out of him, which is absolutely hysterical. So,
yes.
In a face role, Johnny is still being Johnny, which is kind of funny. So I'm not going against Karrion Kross. If Johnny wins, I'll be shocked. I will. I don't think this is happening now. If it does happen now, there's no takeover plan, so I don't know what's going on.
Like, I don't know that I would have gone with Johnny if they didn't already, Tony's set to appear. They already, I think, have officially called up Knox and Shotzi. I got a feeling that, we may see Karrion as soon as maybe like next week on one of the main roster shows. And that's the only reason I'm thinking Johnny's got a shot tonight, because he's just so damn entertaining. That's one way to take the belt off of him, and then they can put it on, Pete Dunne or whoever they have future plans for.
All right, so that would go John Smith. I'm sorry.
If they were to do that, I'd love to see Karrion Kross take somebody out at Money in the Bank and backstage and take their spot and win that briefcase right off the bat.
Yeah, there's a lot of crowds now. It makes complete sense to bring Karrion. Now's the time. It's whatever. And you can even put him on Raw for a couple of months. Everything's going to get redrafted and reshuffled in a month anyway. So even if you put him on Raw, he's not doesn't mean he's a death sentence. So, gentlemen, real quick before we switch over to NXT UK, we're going to bring in Gary Mehaffy. Gary, top of the evening to you, pal. I'm sorry to put you and John on the screen at the same time. But there is a method to the madness. Going over the standings, the NXT standings, Gary threw up the perfect PPV. He went 4-0. He absolutely nailed it. He is now our NXT leader. Travis a little bit behind. Tyler Tyler's stuck at 33 points. And now normally if Tyler, he works nice. He does this, that, and the other. Sometimes he doesn't submit his picks. Shout out to Tyler Adelle. He submitted all 4 picks, and God bless that sweet face of his. He got all 4 of them wrong. So there we go. So, and then just going with the perfect pay-per-views. This is now Gary's second. He's now in a tie with me and John Smith for the season lead. Throwing the bashes up there along with Blood and Guts. So, Gary, I'm going to give you a quick couple seconds here. Anything you want to get off your chest?
I'm just that good. I mean, I try to pretend that I don't know what I'm talking about, and every now and again, it just shows I must think more like Triple H than I do like Vince, because I can't get anything right in the main roster. But
I know exactly. All right, so Gary, we're going to keep you on screen. Josh Smith and rebuttal here.
No, I gotta tuck my tail between my legs on this one. I'm like 4th on the list now, and that's supposed to be my forte is NXT.
All right, good deal, John and John. We will see you in a little bit. We're going to keep Gary on screen. Gary, how are things going overseas? It's raining. I wanted to do an outdoor episode. Last year after my wedding, I did an outdoor episode. It is rainy and muggy here in Jersey. It's terrible.
Oh, we're the opposite. Summer has finally arrived here. So all week is to be sunny and dry. So this is the 1 week during the summer that'll happen. So
okay, well, I gotta switch my notes over. Here we go. So I know Eddie Dennis really hasn't been one of your favorite people in the world. He had a pretty decent match. Trent Seven got the win with the burning hammer. Then we had a post-match attack by Symbiosis, thwarted by Tyler Bate with nunchucks. Okay, I think the nunchucks are probably the biggest story to come out of this match and everything that's going on here, Gary.
yeah, I mean, as you said, they had a really good match, and it built up, and I actually liked all the stuff to do with the Snapdragon suplex and stuff. It all built up. It was a great match, and Symbiosis coming out. And I thought, will Tyler Bate come out on his own? Will two people come out? And Tyler Bate came out, and I thought, oh, right, okay, 2 baby faces fighting them off. And then he came out with the nunchucks, and I was like, what? It was great, mind you, as he's just standing giving it the whole yoo-hoo in the middle of the ring. Brilliant.
There goes Tyler Bate ripping off Michelangelo, right? That was so hopefully they stick around. That'd be a lot of fun. Mark Andrews, he earned himself and his partner, your boys, they earned themselves a tag team championship match at some point.
Yeah, I mean, I will say, I'm going to say one bad thing about the match and then go with it. It's like at the start, for maybe the first 3 or 4 minutes, I thought Lewis Howley was wrestling in custard. He was very, very slow, and he couldn't get going at all. But then he got going, and I was glad to see it, because I do. I mean, I'm a big fan of subculture, and like Andrews and Webster for years. I've been a big supporter of, and they had a decent match, with the shooting star press by Andrews for the win and stuff. So down the line, probably in a few weeks' time, we'll get their title match.
All right, James Wheels chiming in about Tegan Knox. We'll get to Tegan a little later, buddy. So just relax. We'll get to that. Yeah, they got the shooting star. Do you think they have a shot here? I know they didn't announce this for next week. Maybe 3 weeks from now, because I know Walter. He's in 2.
Yeah, he's in 2 weeks. Yeah. So you could be right. Probably 3 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks is probably about right. They'll probably have another match or 2 that you'll have the other members fighting each other, and then we'll get up to it.
Yeah, now do you think they could find somebody to counteract? Is it Danny Lunar, right? You think they could counteract?
Yeah.
You get a female member pretty deadly? Maybe. I have no idea.
At least it can't be Jenny, so we're all right.
So. All righty, so you got Kenny Williams and Nathan Frazier by hook or crook. He hit him with he got hit with the exposed turnbuckle. Got Nathan Frazier right in the face. Then he hit his finisher. Bad luck.
Yeah, Cockroach wins. It still needs the beard back, mind you, but that's besides the point. I mean, both of these guys are. I was going to say the future of the brand. They're obviously the current of the brand.
Yeah,
but I really do think that going forward, these two are going to be 2 guys that they'll be building a lot around. once Nathan Frazier just sort of gets himself a bit more settled, and when when he gets his character and charisma or whatever to come over, when he finds himself a bit more, Kenny Williams obviously has that.
Yeah.
He's got it, but say it was a good match, 9 minutes or so, but the same length as the main event, but good match. And say the cockroach takes it.
You got to be able to back it up when you call yourself the scum of the earth. It's not really a great comparison you want to make, but I guess if you do it right, if Kenny Williams can pull it off. And then Nathan Frazier, he's so good that he's eating a couple L's here. He's not really getting a lot of wins.
Yeah.
But they're coming, so it's just a matter of time. Like, they're not going to just let Nathan Frazier. They're not going to pull him from AEW and then just let him just fizzle out into nothing. Just to screw up AEW.
It's almost like, say, like we've talked before, and some people have said, like, what do we do in New Japan with the young boys and stuff? You have them coming through, and they're going to be somebody in a couple of years' time, but they're just kind of getting used to where they are, getting a few losses, getting a few wins, and then being built up in the fans' eyes. And I think Nathan will be the same. He just give him a little bit of time, you get a little bit of momentum behind him, and then away you go.
Blair Davenport made her. There you go. She made her in-ring debut NXT UK. She beat In Action. After it was a pull-in knee strike to the face. I've written down. I don't know exactly what that was. I don't think it hurt though. But when she grabbed the mic, everyone's on notice.
Yeah, it was great. I was surprised she sort of debuted, and there hadn't been any much hype about it. I know she'd had the video, and I wondered if she would. And again, it was 2 weeks in a row when she actually came out. When I saw Laura Di Matteo in the ring, I thought, I think we're getting Blair Davenport here. I think Bea Priestley's coming. And then when she came out, I was like, on my settee again. It was great. I'm so pleased to see her there. That we literally, NXT UK have the women's roster to rival anywhere in the world. At the minute, they really do. And adding her is just another layer to it. And as you say, she's put everybody on notice. And there's part of me that when John was saying about Karrion Kross at Money in the Bank and stuff, there's part of me would actually be tempted to do that, is to straight away, like within a couple of weeks, say, I'm coming, and go straight for Meiko Satomura and beats her first time out, and just have her coming in going, I'm here now, what are you going to do about it? So I would shoot her to the moon straight away.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. And it just you keep on, every week you hype up NXT. I just hit my head. Everyone's talking about, let's do an all-women's pay-per-view. Let's do an all-women's pay-per-view. Do Worlds Collide. Let Hunter do Worlds Collide with both those rosters, and it would be absolutely insane. Yeah. And that's how you would put women's wrestling on the map. You don't need Raw. You don't need SmackDown. Just give us Worlds Collide between NXT and NXT UK, and that's launched.
Absolutely.
Jack Starr says he's okay after his loss to Tyler Bate in that the Heritage Cup Championship match. He was approached by Dave Mastiff. Now, Dave, he was trying to be consoling, but if guys have to prove themselves by going through you first, that's a hell of a spot to be in.
Yeah.
So Mastiff sees what we're seeing, that Jack Starr is NXT's resident punching bag.
Yeah.
And everyone just gets the win over here first. So, is this... It's not a backhand. He meant it to be common. It's not backhanded by any means, but
no, he may as well have just patted him on the head and gone, "Oh, bless, it's okay, aren't you all right?" I still think a heel turn's coming for Big Jack. I think we're going to find him getting more and more frustrated. James,
James goes for James. Have fun, buddy. Knock yourself out.
But no, no, I can see just a Jack Starr's heel turn coming down the line as he gets more and more frustrated with what's going on and kind of takes it out on somebody. But although I wouldn't be trying to take it out on Dave Mastiff, to be fair. But
yeah. I feel like they use that Snap Insane thing on Ilya Dragunov. It'd be fun if Jackie Boy was doing that. That'd be kind of fun. As we mentioned earlier, actually, it's going to be next Thursday, not this one coming up, July 22nd. We're doing Walter and Ilya Dragunov again. Dragunov will be earning this championship match by beating Rampage, Brown, and Joe Coffey. That was a triple threat match, and they had another interesting sit down. It was a quick one. They're like, nothing was settled. And they're like, nope. So they're eventually going to have it again. But we do have one match next week. Unfortunately, we don't have a graphic for it. Teal Man was actually impressed with Rohan Raja for not giving up the match that he actually broke Rohan Raja's arm. He was so impressed that he didn't give up. He actually took care of Rohan. He took care of Rohan's family. He made sure everything was okay. And that's why I guess now their friends are going to run around together. So they have a tag team match against Oliver Carter and Ashton Smith. And once again, Gary, you can't overlook this. Teal Man was sitting in Roman Reigns' seat.
Yeah, I think there's been things said for a few weeks about Carter and Smith. Teal Man's been stirring things. And whether it happens this week or whether it happens in a week or two's time, I have a feeling that Oliver Carter is going to abandon poor Ashton Smith and side with Teal Man and Rohan Raja as he starts to make probably what he will call the family, I would assume, as he starts to build that group. But I think either this week or in a week or two's time, Oliver Carter is going to say cheerio and drop Ashton Smith.
So now, is Vin Diesel ripping off Teal Man here? I see all the family memes on Facebook and everything because of the Fast and the Furious. Is Vin Diesel ripping off Teal Man? Unbelievable.
That's what they say. It's because NXT UK is where it's at. Everybody in the whole world wants to watch it and go, what can I learn? What can I take from it? See?
There you go. I'd rather have Teal Man on my screen than Vin Diesel. Gary, real quick before we let you go, 3 huge shows coming up. 4 points on ProWrestlingPick'em.com. We'll get into all the scoring and everything later. We have Fyter Fest, we have Slammiversary, and we have Money in the Bank. Have at anything you want to throw out there. Wild predictions, CM Punk. What do you think?
For Money in the Bank, I've been watching to try and see where I think. As I say, I know I often think a little bit more like Triple H than to do Vince. I'm going Scottish on both. I'm going Drew and Nikki Ash on both.
Yeah, you have to.
I'm going them for it. That's going to be my sort of big prediction. I was worried, but now that Drew's got the right sword, obviously he'll be all right. But no, I'm going there. I did think we'd go on Ricochet, to be fair, after this week's match that he had with John Morrison on Raw, which is unbelievable. I did think it would go on Ricochet. I thought that might have helped his standing with Vince, I think, that performance. But I'm going to stick with Drew, and whether he ends up doing something on Raw, because obviously he's not allowed to have a title match with Bobby Lashley if they're actually still champion, or whether there's been rumours, obviously, about him moving to SmackDown in the draft and stuff. So whatever he does, there's something will happen. Yeah, exactly. Big Dave was talking about. Uncle Dave was talking about. But no, I think I'm gonna stick Scottish. I'm gonna go with the 2 of them. So that's my prediction.
I respect that. I respect that a ton. I'm going to be, I'm betting heavy on Jersey this week as well. So I'll be with you on that one. So Gary, thank you again as always for staying up with us late night. We have to talk about Walter and Dragunov again next week, pal. I'm excited.
Can't wait. We'll see you then.
All right, so we go from Gary Mehaffy. We're going to bring in Ryan Joy from minutestobelltime.com. Ryan, welcome home. Look at you back down in the Treasure Coast.
I went so many days without talking about wrestling. It's really kind of tough to do. But I'm back, and you're not the only person who had a big weekend this past weekend.
Okay.
Had a great big show, and MLW had a show, and everybody's kind of getting ready for a Tokyo Dome show and stuff. So everywhere you look, there's a lot of wrestling going on. So
there is. Like I said, this week is no exception. We got what is like 10 straight days. Well, not even that. Probably more than that. Now that there's wrestling on every night. Now we have wrestling on both nights on the weekend. Absolutely insane. So best in the world. Travis and I previewed it last week. He did a great job filling in for you. Not great enough to the point where we're going to hire him full time yet. You still have your job. But tell us, what happened? I said I was too busy getting married. I missed it. What happened?
there's a whole bunch of matches that they ended up getting on the card eventually. But the headline for the whole show is that they have a new Ring of Honor World Champion, and it kind of came out of nowhere. Bandito comes away, he gets the win, and the reason I say it came out of nowhere is because it was kind of surprising that he got the shot to begin with. And then he hasn't really been pushed that much by Ring of Honor. He was in a 6-man tag unit for a long time, and that just split up. He gets this title shot seemingly out of nowhere, and he wins with an inside cradle. That's how they end matches on Raw. That's how Flair beat Funk in '89. That's how Steamboat beat Savage, and that's how Bandito beat Roosh. And here's sorry to do this to you, but there you go. Bandito, the new Ring of Honor World Champion.
That is a pretty belt. I like that belt.
Yes, they do. And Bandito was not the only person to walk away with gold. Dragon Lee defeated Tony Deppen for the ROH World Television Championship. And Chris Dickinson and Homicide won the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championships. They beat Rhett Titus and Jonathan Gresham. Gresham earlier in the night had successfully defended the Pure Championship against Mike Bennett. So the 6-man tags, they stayed put. They stayed with Shane Taylor Promotions. But up and down, pretty good card.
Good deal. Jersey J. I need a Jersey J update. How'd he do? And I think EC3 had a big match as well, right?
Yeah, EC3, he got a win over Flip Gordon. Brody King put down Jay Lethal. So wow. Brody King's unit had a pretty good night. They won the tag titles. Brody King got a big win over Jay Lethal. Tony Deppen losing the TV title was kind of the downside for them for that night. But Brody King, big win over Jay Lethal.
Yeah.
On Saturday night in Philadelphia, though, MLW had Battle Riot. Now, that was a show that was not aired on television, wasn't streamed or anything like that. And it's main evented by a Royal Rumble-style match where the winner is going to get a shot at Jacob Fatu. And Court Bauer, owner of MLW, has said that that's going to air on BN Sports for free on July 24th at 10 p.m. So some more content.
Yeah, perfect. That's coming up. That's Saturday, right? There you go. You said Saturday. There you go.
Yeah. And then next week, Al, we're going to be talking about Tokyo Dome shows. We got a big Tokyo Dome show coming up at the end of July for New Japan. So that'll be next week.
All right. Perfect. Awesome. You ready to get rolling? We got a bunch. We got a ton of matches. This is like my Glory episode. This is like big. I'm not going to say it wasn't as big as WrestleMania week. That was insane. But this is
right.
This is a close second because I don't think we've ever picked 3 shows on one episode of the Essential Wrestling Podcast before. So we're going to bring back in John Smith. We're going to bring back in John DeConnie. And we're going to go with a little road rage before we get going with the picks. Just a small recap before the fun begins. Forgot I don't have a Road Rager picture. I think I had last week. I don't know what I did with it. John Smith. Your best friend Penta and his best friend Eddie Kingston. Close. They got the win 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, pretty close. But, this was a street fight, so you know that everybody was getting involved in this one. And they stayed out of it for the first, 15 minutes or so. But then once Jeff did the 450 splash onto the ref and stopped him from seeing the tap out from Matt, then the Good Brothers came out, and then all hell broke loose, and the Bucks pick up the win. It was a really good match, of course, a street fight, involving these two teams. How could it not be? But
yeah,
we all knew they weren't winning losing those titles yet. So
there you go. I believe it was they put thumbtacks in Eddie Kingston's mouth and then super kicked him. That's how that match ended. Probably eating a lot of ice cubes the last couple days. Maybe some milkshakes if it's all healed up. But I don't think that's gonna burn, right? How do you sanitize that? You put peroxide on your tongue. Ryan, we had a South Beach strap match as well. That's how we started the show. You're back in front of a live crowd. You moved on for Daly's Place. Why not put Cody up first, right? Why not let Cody be the first thing you see? Why not, right?
When Dynamite kicked off in DC, it was Cody Rhodes versus Sami Guevara for the first ever Dynamite match. And then last week, or the previous week, you had Sami Guevara closing the show to close out the pandemic era of Dynamites. And so now you have Cody Rhodes, the other half of that initial Dynamite matchup, opening the post-pandemic era. And it was Cody versus QT. I guess this seems like it's a blow-off of the feud. I don't feel like there's anything more definitive than Cody can do than 3 crossroads and then walking around the ring and touching each ring post for the win. So Cody Rhodes gets the win here.
Yeah, so my question for you, Rod, just a matter of opinion if you have 2 seconds here. So that was, the touch the 4 corners to win. So, sometimes the strap matches just whip the crap out of each other and get a pinfall. But this was the 4 corners, a la, old school like NWA, WCW, and I believe WWE did it when JBL beat Eddie Guerrero for the WWE Championship and started that 10-month title reign. That was a lot of fun, JBL.
You're also your Savio Vega, Stone Cold Steve Austin, right? Wasn't that that one too, right?
Yeah, the Caribbean strap match. My buddy Kenny P that I saw this weekend, he still thinks Savio Vega is Stone Cold's greatest rival. But so, which do you like better? Do you like just a regular strap match, or do you want to do the 4 corners and play patty cake?
If you're going to bust out the strap, then do the 4 corners.
Okay.
Go all the way with it. You don't win a casket match by pinning the guy in the middle of the ring. So let's do the
okay,
strap.
well, we'll talk about we're going to talk about. We're not going to talk about caskets, though. We're going to talk about coffins. It's different because the lights are on.
Yes.
So after this, they did an in-ring interview with Arn Anderson, which made no sense to me whatsoever. Why? Why? Malachi Black appeared, and he spun kicked both Arn Anderson and Cody Rhodes. Now, Ryan, you cover the news. I'm assuming the 90-day no compete clause was agreed upon. They'll waive the 90-day if he keeps on selling the eye injury Buddy Murphy gave him on Smackdown or on Raw a couple of months ago. His eye's still not healed from Buddy Murphy.
You bring this up like I don't care about Buddy Murphy at all. Aleister Black had a 90-day never had a 90-day non-compete when he got promoted from the main from NXT to the main roster. They didn't update his contract, so they didn't find that out until after they fired him. So there you go. He appears on Dynamite after 30 days.
Yeah, so Malachi Black is now going to be the one taking the 4 crossroads and the pinfall and not getting out of the gates properly in AEW. Kenny Omega did an in-ring interview. He was interrupted again by Evil Uno, but he was jumped by the Good Brothers, all thwarted by Hangman Page. Hangman Page will be at Fyter Fest. He will be. You will hear from him, I guess. That's the big thing. So I guess he's doing an in-ring promo. Ryan, we're gonna go back to you one last time. How was on speaking of former WWE guys? How did Andrade do?
Hey, he did okay, and he was wrestling Matt Sydal, and I guess surprisingly to me, Matt Sydal was a ranked wrestler in the AEW rankings. So Andrade gets a win over a ranked wrestler, must push him up the rankings quite a bit, I would think. But it was the DDT that got him there, and then he kept going at Matt Sydal after the match. So we don't know yet what the big surprise is, though. And I was thinking the big surprise was actually going to be Aleister Black, but it doesn't seem to be a related situation at all. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, did they even mention? I kind of was watching. It's a busy week. They mentioned the surprise, or did they get cut off again? From what I saw, he just wrestled and that was done. Yeah.
No discussion of the surprise at all.
Okay, yeah, but I completely agree with you. Matt Sydal being ranked, like that's almost as bad as the pro wrestling pick'em scoring system, right? John Smith, holy crap, that was making these rankings.
Well, that was the surprise that Matt Sydal was ranked.
That was the surprise. In other action involving the Pinnacle and the Inner Circle, there was a 6-man tag team match that Pinnacle won after FTR hit a big rig on Jake Hager. And then there was a face-off with Jericho and MJF that ended with Jericho hitting the Judas effect on MJF. I believe they're discussing a match. Audio was messed up. Did John the Connie, did they agree to a match or something? Because Jericho was screaming at the end of it.
Yeah, MJF said he was going to turn Jericho's plan against him, make him go through hell like he made Moxley. So he was calling it the 5 labors of Jericho. He's going to make him fight 4 people of MJF's choosing to get that 5th match, to get that match against MJF at the end.
Gotcha. Okay. John the Connie, I see a bunny. I saw a bunny sighting.
Bunny sightings are always fun in AEW. So, yes, we had Bunny and the Blade against the and Friends portion of Best Friends and Friends, Orange Cassidy and Chris Statlander. And this match, I mean, it was a lot of fun, but it was all about psychology. They start right off, Orange Cassidy gets in the ref's ear and points out that Blade's always coming up with knucks. So he gets worked over by the ref, finds a pair of knucks. They're taken out of the situation. So then we have a nice little match going on. It's about 8.5 minutes back and forth. But surprise, surprise, there's a second set of knucks tucked away somewhere on the lovely Bunny that she hands to the Blade, and he knocks out Orange Cassidy. But unfortunately, Cassidy was not the legal person. Statlander was. So Statlander shoves the Bunny into the Blade. Blade goes tumbling out. And Statlander is able to hit the Big Bang Theory on the Bunny to get the 1, 2, 3 for the and Friends of Best Friends and Friends.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. It wasn't Trenton. Yeah, very good. So that guy from American Top Team, I remember him from Impact. I know exactly who that guy was. He was training Lashley, I think, in Impact, if I remember correctly. Lashley was a part of American Top Team way back when. He was there with Amanda Nunes. I avoid her at all costs. She could probably whip everybody in that arena's ass 3 times before she breaks a sweat. So she is dangerous. The guy from American Tag Team, and then he got dropped by Lance Archer. I was waiting for the guy from Tag Team. He was coming out. He was talking all this crap. I was waiting for him to be like, oh, well, I left tickets for Bill Buckner, but he couldn't come down to pick him up. How bad? Like, this was such a Pete Rose routine from WrestleMania 14. It was absolutely amazing. So shout out to the guy from Top Team. And I don't know. I think Amanda Nunes. All right, quick picks, real quick. Amanda Nunes versus Lance Archer. John Smith.
I guess give me Amanda Nunes.
Dude, Ryan Joy.
Archer wins the worked fight, and Amanda Nunes wins the shoot fight.
All right, John DeConnie.
Yeah, give me Amanda Nunes just because that's funny.
She was at an Islanders game a couple of years ago when they were at Barclays, and I'm just like, I am just not even looking at her. Like, I am afraid of my life right now. We've been reporting that there's a couple new matches on NXT just announced. We got Bobby Fish and Tyler Rust tonight. That should be awesome. Bobby going against Roddy Strong's old new faction, so there you go. Dexter Lumis and Santos Escobar. That is the John Smith Championship match of all time. John, you're getting your match. Who do you got?
I gotta go. No. I got. Wow. Give me Santos. I guess. That's a true coin flip in my heart and in my head.
Yeah, and there was actually one thing we forgot to mention too. Dexter Lumis, he carried Indy Hartwell after the match back to safety. That was fun.
Oh yeah.
And then we got Dakota Kai. She's probably going to beat Ember Moon, so we'll just skip that one. But we are going to go to Fyter Fest Night 1 on ProWrestlingPick'em.com. Play against your friends. Play against the universe. Guys, she'll like it too. Here are the overall standings in the Essential Wrestling Podcast. Thanks to MSK, I have caught John Smith, but my lead is only by a point. This is going to be like Miz's title run. I'll have it for a week, and it'll be great, and then it'll be over by the time I realize it. Here are our AEW specific standings. John DeConnie at 13-2 with 124 points. He's leading the way right there. And then here the scoring for Fyter Fest. 5 points for the AEW title match. There is not one. 3 points for all other recognized championship matches. I'm going to make that abundantly clear right now because there's some confusion on that one. 1 point for non-title matches, 1 point for added to interpromotional match. Perfect pay-per-view will be 5 points. Nothing is over 5 points on this one. So we're gonna go. We're gonna go with the classics first. Some things just, Matt Hardy never dies. Yeah, this is not TLC. But we're going to go at it again, a feud that started back probably like 1996. And we're going to keep rolling with it. So, Ryan Joy, as our senior AEW correspondent, what do you got?
I think Christian Cage is going to win this. Although I think there's going to be a lot of Hardy family office interference, so I could potentially talk myself out of it before we get there. But Christian Cage, I think he's the one with he hasn't lost really yet, so I think it's going to be him.
All right, you are correct. John Smith.
Yeah, I like Christian Cage also. This was kind of a coin flip to me, but I think maybe somebody debuts to help out Christian when the whole Hardy compound gets involved. I think that would be a nice little twist. That could be like the opening match,
Yeah, because that's what AEW needs, more wrestlers. John DeConnie.
If you told me this match was a one-off for sure, I'd go with Christian Cage, but I think if they're going to let these two go at it maybe a couple of times, that Cage will win the rubber match, but I think Matt Hardy will do something with the Hardy family office getting involved and whatnot, and he'll pull this one out.
You just lost your perfect pay-per-view. There you go. Anyway, Christian Cage, no, he's future AEW World Champion. He's eventually going to beat Kenny Omega. He owned Matt Hardy. Edge and Christian has owned the Hardys for over 25 years now. Nothing is going to change in 2021. Outwork everyone. The match you're on the graphic for, but we actually have Penelope Ford going against the returning Yuka Sakazaki, John DeConnie.
Yeah, give me Yuka Sakazaki in this one. I don't think she's coming all the way over here just to lose, right? So, sorry, Penelope Ford. You look better and better every time you perform, but I don't think you're getting the win here.
Yeah, that's it. I completely agree with every sentiment of what you just said. John Smith.
Yeah, make that 3. Yuka Sakazaki.
Brian Joy.
Yeah, Yuka Sakazaki has a win over Britt Baker right here on my wall. And I feel like she's going to defeat Penelope Ford so that she can eventually get a shot against Britt Baker.
Okay, I'm going with Yuka Sakazaki as well. As I mentioned, I agree with everything John DeConnie says. We have not a coffin match. Not a casket match, but we have a coffin match. Now, Ryan Joy, you mentioned that you can't get a 3 count, but can't you when you close the coffin, can't you just cover the coffin? The guy's shoulders are down, right?
You could, but the match is already over as soon as the lid closes.
Well, I'm just saying, you say there's 2 ways to do a strap match. There's maybe 2 ways to do a coffin match. But then again, this isn't a casket match. Maybe there's our rules. Maybe you have to cover the coffin on this one.
Maybe you have to nail it closed. I don't know. Like
maybe
Taker did with Kamala, right? He had to nail it closed after he put the lid on.
Very, very, very. You are a historian, my friend. So Ethan Page and Darby Allin is a lot more personal, I guess, than we originally thought. Apparently, there's a history between these two pre-AEW, according to the interviews and promos that they did this past week. So, John Smith, who do you have? Oh, I got to put the graphic. I apologize. Who do you have in the coffin match?
I got the Golden Boy Darby winning this one.
All right. John DeConnie.
Yeah, I have to agree. It seems like even though Ethan Page, I think, was the one who originally brought it up, I feel like a gimmick match like this is kind of be Darby Allin's it's Darby Allin thing, so Allin's going to win.
Yeah, Ethan Page wants to be the one that buries Darby Allin in his career. Ryan, I believe we talked off screen a while ago about this. If I'm Scorpio Sky, I'm pissed off. I've been there longer. I'm doing this. All of a sudden, Ethan Page is getting this match against Darby Allin. If you're Scorpio Sky, are you pissed?
Well, that's the thing here. I think that Darby's going to win this match, and it'll set up a Scorpio Sky match. I think Darby wins the battle against Ethan Page, but there are some circumstances where Ethan Page could win. Here they are. If this somehow gets turned into a tag match, Ethan Page is going to win this match. If he comes out as the Karate Man, he wins this match.
Oh, easily, yeah.
Barring those 2 circumstances, Darby Allin wins the match, and he probably goes on to face Scorpio Sky later, maybe at the pay-per-view.
Yeah, that's potential too. They said if Scorpio Sky is like, all right, if you're gonna do all this, like, you at least gotta give me Sting. You know, at least let childhood, Scorpio Sky, live out a fantasy here. Yeah, I'm gonna go Darby Allin as well. This just doesn't. No
What's your
reason for
fantasy with Scorpio Sky?
What's that?
What did you say about your fantasy with Scorpio Sky?
No, Stings. No, Scorpios is with Stings.
Oh.
Everybody has a fantasy with Sting except me. I'm okay. I'm good. I'm good with Sting. I like the police. Ricky Starks. This match intrigues the hell out of me. I'm loving all of this. Ricky Starks had some words about Brian Cage and his wife that even Taz didn't approve of. So Ricky Starks has crossed the line here, boys. So the FTW Championship is on the line. This is not a professional wrestling sanctioned organization champion. This is Taz. That's fine. They can fight over Taz's championship. This is only a 1-point match. So we have Brian Cage, we have Ricky Starks, Team Taz. The plan is let these two duke it out, and then everything will be hunky-dory at the end, John DeConnie. Is that what's going to happen?
First of all, boo, not recognizing the FTW title. Second of all, absolutely not.
It's not my decision to recognize it. It's Tony Khan's decision to recognize it. I have nothing to do with it.
At minimum, it's interpromotional.
Even if the other promotion is just
FTW on, I'll watch it. What channel is FTW on? I'll watch it.
It appears only in Taz's imagination.
Yeah,
give me Brian Cage winning this one. I think Ricky Starks has to be taught a very harsh lesson after invoking Cage's wife.
Yeah, Melissa Santos, for those of you watching at home, she has a near and dear place in my heart as the voice, as the ring announcer of Lucha Underground. I loved her as a ring announcer, Ryan Joy.
The loser of this, I think, is leaving Team Taz. I'm gonna say the FTW title stays with Team Taz. I'm gonna pick Ricky Starks.
Like I said, this is, I think, the one match out of the 5 of these that it could easily split 2 and 2. John Smith.
Yeah, I'm going with Brian Cage on this one. And let me say, I agree with you that it's not a sanctioned title, so it shouldn't be worth title points.
Wow. Let it be known, on July 13th, John Smith agrees with a Pro Wrestling Pick'em scoring decision. There we go. Hey, hell froze over. There we go. I just saw a pig fly.
I got to appease the Pro Wrestling Pick'em gods because I fell out of first place.
I can totally see I could see Ricky Starks winning this. I can see, just by hook or crook, if they're going to kick Brian Cage out of this faction, this is when you do it. You screw him over, you keep the belt with Ricky Starks in Team Taz. But that's not how usually AEW operates. AEW operates, and we got fooled with this before, the last time Cage fought Hangman Page. The better wrestler, the stronger wrestler usually wins. So I am going Brian Cage strictly off that. And if I'm wrong, I am not going to be shocked. So, Ryan Joy, you are on an island right now with Ricky Starks.
That's all right.
But a title that is recognized by a professional wrestling promotion is the IWGP United States Championship, where the current belt holder is Jon Moxley, an AEW wrestler, will be challenged by Karl Anderson, an Impact wrestler, for a New Japan Championship. So we are all over the world. This is just Forbidden Door in its glory, Ryan Joy, right?
It is. How many points you got this one worth?
3.
Did you give it an interpromotional bonus?
Oh, yeah, 4. Sorry, 4.
Okay, just checking. Okay, so
I will look it up right now, and I will change it if I did, but I'm pretty sure it's down to 4.
So Body Slam Brigade letter I wrote about Karl Anderson this past week. It was a reader-requested article, and he has a well-credentialed singles career, but He's always a bridesmaid, never a bride. He can't win the big one. He lost the G1. He lost the tournament finals for the Never Championship. He is a founder of the Bullet Club, but I don't think it's going to be enough for him to get a win over Jon Moxley on AEW television, regardless of what belt's on the line.
I'm pretty sure he had a pretty impressive win last Thursday on Impact in singles action. Those were 3 pretty decent competitors he beat, John DeConnie.
Yes, indeed. But once again, I don't think he gets it done here. I think Moxley retains that IWGP US title.
John Smith, so I picked you last on this one, specifically just so I can talk to you about this real quick. I saw a picture. I believe Jon Moxley shaved his head, has a goatee, and completely ripped off Triple H. So I just want to have a discussion with you right now. If you want to be the one to say that next Tuesday in episode 63, I will let you have it, that Jon Moxley's completely ripping off Triple H.
Sure, I'll do that for you.
All right, okay, I'll write that in my notes, make sure you got it for you. Who do you got in the match?
I think this is the easiest one to pick. I got Moxley.
You don't think Karl Anderson's going to walk into Slammiversary as the IWGP Heavyweight United States Champion?
Dude, the Good Brothers have taken the short end of the stick. This whole, Bullet Club reunited thing. They just lose and lose when it matters.
But it's not the Good Brothers. It's just Karl Anderson.
He's the one that's always getting pinned.
Yeah, exactly. Doc Gallows is fine. He's enjoying. He's got the wild outfits and the earrings and everything.
His name is Sex Ferguson. All right.
Sex Ferguson.
Did you know that he was Festus?
I did not know that. 3 people told me that today. Actually, I was on the train, a random train in New York City. 3 people came up to me. You know, Festus is Luke Gallows. So that will do it for Fyter Fest Night 1. I do believe we have a couple of matches signed for Night 2. I know Britt Baker and Nyla Rose is Night 2. Not exactly sure what else is signed, but we will cross that bridge when we get there. Tomorrow night watching, they'll give us the card, and then we will make our picks next week. So make sure you continue with us and watch that with us. So we're going to switch to Impact Wrestling, and before we make our picks for Slammiversary, we actually do have one match to pick on Thursday night. I thought they would have put this on Slammiversary. It seems like they never want to leave Tennille Dashwood off of a pay-per-view, but I feel like it's actually finally going to happen. Because this Thursday is actually going to be Tennille Dashwood and Caleb with a K. They're going to be going against Jordan Grace and Rachel Ellering after Jazz. She was the guest host on It's All About Me with her star guest Tennille Dashwood. And wow, Jazz was so rude. She was not professional at all, and she does not know how to treat her guests. So Tennille Dashwood had no choice but to just jump her and teach her a lesson. And Jordan and Rachel, they did not find that fun at all. So we're going to have a match this Thursday on Impact. So I got Tennille and Caleb. No reason to go against them. But holy rudeness, John Smith, out of Jazz. I expected better out of her.
Yeah, me too, man. But it is Tennille Dashwood, so she always gets on everybody's nerves.
Yeah, me too.
It's the best that she's the one that came up with you interviewing her on her show. I love it.
It's the greatest. This is the greatest talk show in wrestling history. This is the concept of it. Whether or not the content, whatever you want to call it. She's only had 2 episodes, but whatever.
I got her winning it though.
All right, Ryan.
Yeah, Tennille and Caleb. I still think everything's still rocky between Jordan and Rachel.
Can we get like a no contest here, John DeConnie, and put this on Slammiversary? Like, this is actually a really good match with a fun feud, and like this could be like the Jordan turn we've been waiting for. It's not quite as long as Bayley and Sasha. We're waiting for this, but it's been a while now. It's been brewing. We're waiting.
Yeah, exactly. Well, but it keeps having like stops and starts. Like Jordan gets really angry, and then they hug it out. And then Jordan gets really angry again, and then they hug it out. Well, right now they're in the hug it out period, so I'm saying that they're going to eventually wind up beating the hell out of Caleb, and Caleb's going to take the pin. So give me Jordan and Rachel.
All right. I just hope that the swerve doesn't happen Thursday, and also we just say this Rachel and Jordan at Slammiversary. Now, you can't leave Tennille off a pay-per-view. You don't go back to even the Impact Plus shows other than the Super X tournament. Tennille's been on it. Like, I can't believe they're leaving her off. Like, I'm a little shocked right now. So here is the scoring. That's going to be everything else that's involved with Impact and all the matches they have. I think 4 other matches booked. They are all tied into everything going into Slammiversary, so we'll discuss them as they go along. Let me just switch the corner. There we go. Here's the scoring. The standings, the Impact-only standings going into Slammiversary. 20-5. I'll take it. John Smith up my butt again. It just seems like me and him are just neck and neck in all these standings. But Gary's right.
How's that go? Nuts to butts?
Yeah, nuts to butts. So my wedding photographer told us to get closer together, and she said nuts to butts, and we all thought that was funny. And then the girls,
Johnny the Heine.
Yeah, Chinese the Heinies. John DeConnie, 84, Travis, 83. It's a big event. It is their anniversary show. Slammiversary's been around for a very long time now. We're tripling the points. It's one of their big shows. 15 points for the Impact title, 9 for all other title matches, 3 for the non-title matches. Anything interpromotional will get 3 points added, which is the Impact Championship match. Kenny Omega does not work there, so that match will be 18 points. Thus, the perfect pay-per-view will be worth 18 points. So before we get started with the matches that booked, I'm going to try to play Booker myself, a little bit of a predictor, because Jake something, he defeated Brian Myers with the Black Hole Slam. Myers had to acknowledge Jake something as a professional wrestler, and as Myers was about to do so, Sam Beal attacked him from behind, and that post-match attack was thwarted by a returning Matt Cardona. So we can go 2 ways with this one, John DeConnie. We can have a tag team match. It seems like that's the simplest answer between Matt Cardona and Jake something against Brian Myers and Sam Beal. Or I believe it was an orbital bone injury that Matt Cardona suffered at the hands of Brian Myers, who also has an eye injury. Do we do eye for an eye?
Stop it. Stop it. Just stop. No eye for an eye, please. No eye for an eye.
You want the tag team match? Let's pick the tag team match then. So it has not been booked yet, but you know what? This is Slammiversary worthy. So if it happens, it'll be worth 3 points. Jake something, Matt Cardona versus Brian Myers and his apprentice Sam Beal, John DeConnie.
Yeah, I would say the returning Cardona will get the pin. It'll probably be on Sam Beal, but give me Jake and Cardona.
Yeah, Radio Silence, right? That's the name of it. Ryan Joy, would be fun if Sam Beal gets the win here. Everyone's kind of, I don't want to say he's Brandon Cutler. I mean, he's taking notes. He's working hard. He's trying, but it's almost too obvious that he's everything. Can he get the win? It's a big show. It'll last forever. They're going to sell DVDs and Blu-rays and everything.
I can't even believe that your big argument for adding this match, you're arguing to add a Sam Beal match to their big pay-per-view.
They have 7 books. You need 2 more. They always do 9.
Okay, Sam Beal takes the loss here. It would be great. It would be career-making.
Yeah.
But no.
All those notes, all that studying, the training John Smith for Sam Beal to get the win. And then when he does Brian Myers get pissed and turn on him? You can do so much with this.
Yeah, that's not Impact, though. Impact's going to Impact. Jake something's been getting quite the push, so I think that he comes out with the victory there.
That's the answer I was going to circle back to. I think Jake something. He's jacked. You couldn't really see that when he was a Diener. I don't think was he wearing the Speedos? I don't remember, but he is just freaking.
Vince needs to change his name to just something.
It's just going to be something. Okay, so W. Morrissey, he defeated 3 inactions. That was impressive. 3 inactions, stacked them up like a pile of flapjacks for the win. He's got Eddie Edwards at Slammiversary, John Smith.
Yeah, give me Morrissey. He's on a beeline for that world title shot at some point, whether it's Kenny or somebody else, but I don't think he's losing until he loses a title match.
Now that my Samoa Joe theory is gone, I kind of, unless somebody comes in from these 90-day no-compete clauses, maybe W. Morrissey is going to be the one that takes it from Kenny Omega, Ryan Joy.
I still got Moose for that. I still feel like they're going to circle around for Moose.
Oh, John Smith is doing it too.
But Morrissey is going to win this one, I think. Can't
All
teach
right.
that.
John DeConnie?
Yeah, I've got W. Morrissey beating Eddie in this one.
Yeah, unfortunately, so do I. I just Cassidy just looks so huge in an Impact ring. He just looks absolutely ridiculously big. And I'm not even talking about Jack, man. I know he's worked out, but he's just how much taller he is than his head hits the ceiling. So Swinger's Palace was closed because Swinger had some important business to take care of. Chris Sabin still said the place ruled, so that was still fun. Moose jumped him from behind, so they'll go at it at Slammiversary. But the more important story here is that Swingerella number 2's cat had surgery recently, so we all here at the Eastern Observer wish that brave little kitty a speedy recovery. Moose has Hernandez on Thursday night as a tune-up for Sabin on Saturday. Ryan Joy, who do you got?
Moose. I think, like I said just a couple seconds ago, I think Moose is the guy. Moose is the guy for Impact, and until he gets another round with Omega, I don't think he's losing.
John Smith, so are we saying here that Moose re-signed his contract from what I heard? I've been busy. I didn't hear Ryan Joy was off for a week. I didn't hear him sort through whatever he sorts through. So Moose is back, and if he gets him on home turf, like in an Impact ring, is that when that's going to happen, you think?
Yeah, I mean, I still don't see Kenny losing any of his belts cleanly, except for maybe the AEW one.
Okay. So you got Moose over Sabin?
Oh, of course.
Okay. John DeConnie?
Yep, I got to go with that as well. Moose over Sabin.
All right. Hopefully Swingers Palace will be back open in business on Thursday. Rosemary and Havoc, they defeated, I wrote that one wrong. They defeated Kimberly and Susan to be able to challenge for the Impact Knockouts Tag Team Championships. This Thursday, we'll get a preview of it as Havoc takes on Tasha Steelz, and then we get the Tag Team Championship match at Slammiversary. This will be the first time in a very long time that the Women's Knockouts Tag Team Championships will be defended at Slammiversary. John DeConnie, who do you got in this one?
I like a title change here. I'd like Rosemary and Havoc to take those Knockouts Tag Team titles.
I don't. John Smith?
Yeah, this one's tough because it is like their big show, and Rosemary's like their guy. He's like she's the Randy Orton of Impact. Like, she's just been there forever. She always wins. It's tough. Yeah, I'm gonna go with her.
All right, Rosemary, new tag team champion. All right, Ryan.
Yeah,
I feel like I'm on an island right now, Ryan, because I'm not betting against Jersey.
So I think that there is a tag title change here, but I think it's going to be some Scotty D'Amore special when he adds the Iconics to the match, and that's what we get. But I think Kira and Tasha would get past Havoc and Rosemary, so I'm going to make that pick. But a little outside prediction that maybe the Iconics get added.
Yeah, they're not. We're going to talk about this at the end. We were talking about the first set of 90-day no-compete clauses are done at the end of this week, I think. This is just what they did last year at Slammiversary when they brought back Eric Young, and then they brought back, I think it was just Eric Young, actually, at that time being. But, the vignettes of Rusev and everybody. You think maybe, it would be a situation, I don't think inserting them into a match, but I can see Fire and Flava winning, talking trash in the ring, or talking trash to Scott D'Amore, because they always talk trash for whatever reason. They have to find Scott D'Amore every time they win, and that's when the Iconics will come out, and that was fine. So I would like to see that. That would actually be really good. I can see that happening. But I guess another story that stems off of this, after the loss in the number one contenders match, Kimberly, she's going to Plan B. She's going to the final straw. She recruited Father James Mitchell to bring Sue Young back. So it looks like that was the last time we saw Susan. John DeConnie, your fondest Susan memory.
My finest Susan Mary. I think it was in her second match where she actually kind of pulled the referee aside and asked to speak to his manager. That I saw it coming. I knew it was going to come eventually, but when she actually did it, I almost fell out of my chair laughing.
John Smith, anything stick out? I liked it when she told Deanna Purrazzo. I'm going to try to keep using that too. Professional wrestle me.
I liked when she accused one of the other ladies of sexual harassment because she pushed her in the chest.
Yeah. Yeah, she touched me inappropriate. Ryan, Joey, anything that Susan, fond memory of Susan?
Yes. Scott D'Amore saying something, Susan walking in, demanding a match, Scott D'Amore essentially giving it to her, and Susan saying, I guess that'll do. Something to that.
I guess unless I missed it, they didn't really do anything with the X Division guys this past Thursday. This Thursday coming up as a preview for Ultimate X, we have an 8-man tag team match where you got Josh Alexander, Trey Miguel, Chris Bay. They're going to be teaming with Petey Williams as they go against Ace Austin, Rohit Raju, Madman Fulton, and Malibala Shira. All leading to Ultimate X. Those same 68 guys. Petey Williams not pictured here. Madman Fulton and Shira will not be in Ultimate X. But Chris Bay picked a side. That was a big thing. Rohit and Ace Austin, they've been BFF lately, Ryan. It's been so great to watch. Two of my favorites just be happy together.
Oh man, I can't pick this match at present. I think Josh Alexander retains because I can't see a different change.
All right, John Smith.
Yeah, this one's really tough. I feel like I might change after I watch the show on Thursday, depending on what direction they go with things. But you know what? I always pick Trey Miguel, and he never wins anything anymore. But I'm going with Trey Miguel.
All right, yeah. There's no wrong answer on who. I mean, everybody's got a case. Everyone's got a.
I mean, Ace Austin, geez, it could be him too. I don't know. I'm going with Trey. Sorry.
Like I said, this is the first Ultimate X one. There's an X. There's wires across the ring. There's no ladders involved. You have to, kind of monkey bar your way, even though it's not monkey bars. But can Ace Austin just sit on Madman Fulton's shoulders, and just grab the belt, John the County?
Yeah, you could have that happen. You could have Rohit jumping on top of Shira, because I'm assuming there's no disqualification in this insane match. And all of that could happen. I could see Josh retaining. I could see Trey because he's amazing. But it seems like, and of course, I reserve the right to change my mind if all of a sudden he does something amazing on Thursday that tells me, well, now he's definitely not winning at the pay-per-view. Yeah. But it seems like this whole story has centered around Bay. So give me Bay as the new champion.
Yeah. I can't pick a winner. I don't want to bet against Ace. I don't think Ace just had the belt. I don't think they're going back to him. I want to bet on Ace, but then I'm betting against Rohit. So I don't know what to do. So honestly, I just hope all 6 guys have fun.
That's not how the show works now.
That's not how the show. I have to pick one. I'm gonna go with Josh Alexander retaining. I can't pick anything. And you know what, Josh? He's been great. That 60-minute Iron Man match. Just let him keep rolling. Not broke, don't fix it. But then Impact will impact. And maybe Rohit gets it back, I guess. I don't know.
Well, he could always win it right back on the next episode.
Yeah. So then we'll just have to chill to the next episode.
It's like a Zack Ryder situation where he won the Intercontinental title ladder match. And yes, I got you on the Dr. Dre reference. I got you.
There was an in-ring promo by Rich Swann and Willie Mack that got interrupted by TJP and Fallah Bahh. Then by Violent by Design, and that's where we kind of thought this match was going. The 3 teams. Then here come the Good Brothers, the Brothers Good, excuse me, and they who preached that their priority is still the Tag Team Championship. So Tommy Dreamer booked it. Last Thursday, they had a fatal 4-way that Karl Anderson, like I mentioned before, Karl Anderson, big win on Impact. He defeated Diener, Rich Swann, and TJP. So all the smaller members of the team, like an X Division, if you want to call it that, they went at it, and Karl Anderson got the win. So this Thursday coming up, we got the big boys going at it. So you got Joe Doran, Doc Gallows, Fallah Bahh, Willie Mack, all leading to the Fatal 4-Way at Slammiversary for the Impact Tag Team Championships. Not sure who's going to be represented by Violent by Design here. Ryan, you have Doring and Rhino. If you look at the graphic that Impact supplies, Doring and Rhino have the belts up front with Diener behind, but Diener had the match last Thursday. He was in this. Diener's been defending. There's a lot to do here. Eric Young has a decision to make, and if he decides to go with Rhino, John DeConnie, he's got a fresh Rhino to unleash.
Fresh Rhino to unleash, and at Slammiversary of all, places. So, God, I really, really, really want to pick Swan and Willie because I just feel like, the Swan's a former world champion, so they probably want to put him front and center in the company again in some way. And good Lord, could Willie use the win? But I just don't see Violent by Design dropping it right now unless something happens on Thursday to change my mind.
All right, Ryan Joy, looks like you're in agreement here.
Sort of. Rhino and Doring were featured in the Slammiversary graphic with Young and Diener in the back. So that's why I went with that in this graphic. I don't know. I'm kind of feeling the Good Brothers on this.
Okay.
They like John Smith said earlier, they have been the butt of the joke ever since Kenny Omega won that title. So, but this is the anniversary of their debut in Impact. So,
yes,
it seems like full circle.
That's right. It was going to be 1 year ago. It was at midnight, John Smith, and we heard that money-making music. The Devils. I actually got the voice for it now.
Why do they sing about a deviled egg anyway?
I don't know. The deviled eggs. I don't know. What do you got going on in this one, John?
I don't know. I think I like Rich Swann and Willie Mack to win this one because I think they're going to, it's Rich Swann's consolation for losing his title over to the other brand.
There you go, between Willie Mack's music. So the hope is, if it all goes according to my plan, they come out to Rich Swann, he turns it into drive, they go down, they win the titles, but Willie gets the stunner for the win, and then Willie's music plays as they celebrate as your new tag team champions. But yes, you gotta thank Rich Swann somehow for putting on a hell of a contest. In a huge marquee match where he was given the ball, and he did not drop it in that match with Kenny Omega. He represented that company better than anybody else could. They put a lot of faith in him. They gave, so you know what? Just give him the reward. Get John DeConnie, you're exactly right. Get Willie back up there. Get Chocolate Thunder back into the swing of things. And I think they were supposed to challenge a while ago, and then Rich Swann got hurt. Ryan Joy.
Yeah, that was way back before the pandemic. The early part of 2020, January is when Rich Swann got hurt. They 2 days before the actual title match. But it appears I'm on an island again. This is just like Ricky Starks all over again.
Yeah, but no, John DeConnie didn't pick Mac, and he went with the tag title.
Okay, we're split.
So all this means
it's like Hawaii.
What's that?
It's like Hawaii. Me and you are on the main island, and then we got the other two on their own separate.
All this means is that TJP and Fallah Bahh are going to win the belts. So this is just an irrelevant.
Could you imagine?
Bracket buster. Yeah.
So Deonna Purrazzo, she defeated Lady Frost, who I'm assuming is Glacier's daughter. She retained the Knockouts Championship in an open challenge. Nothing on Glacier's daughter. That was cool.
Oh, I see.
Gail Kim said she'll have a mystery opponent for Deonna Purrazzo at Slammiversary. Quote, be prepared for the fight of your life. So this begs the question, who's going to be fighting Deonna Purrazzo? We have a couple theories here. I don't know if you guys want to go on. Yeah, let's do that. John DeConnie is our senior Impact correspondent. Is this CM Punk?
Most definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, this gets harder and harder to this match gets really hard to pick, not knowing who they're going to put in here, because if this is where they're going to spring Su Yung, Father James Mitchell took Susan aside. If Su Yung comes out again, then I think Deonna retains, because, okay, you sprung her on me once. This time I was already thinking about it, possibly being her. She'll look very scared to begin with, but in the end, she'll wind up retaining. If they bring in someone totally new, someone who's, fresh out of the Future Endeavors class or something, then maybe Deonna loses here, but I still think Deonna's got the AAA match at the end of the summer, and weren't they booking that as champion versus champion? So I think Deonna retains here, regardless.
Ryan Joy, you're our news guy. You gotta sort through some stuff. You got eyes on Taylor Wilde?
Yeah, where's she been? I don't know. I haven't heard anything about her. But we all get focused on the WWE releases, and then they surprise you. Impact surprises you with the Motor City Machine Guns and things like that.
Sure.
So I'm sitting here. Who are the monsters of women's wrestling that maybe are available? I'm thinking about Aja Khan, Awesome Khan, maybe somebody like that. I think Deonna's losing here. And I know that's going to upset the Jersey faithful, but I think she's losing here.
All right. Is Travis doing anything next week? John Smith.
Does she not? Does she not get to find out who the opponent is until that night?
Yeah, no idea. I guess I guess they could just ruin it and give it to us on Thursday, but I would wait for it, especially that be prepared for the fight of your life. And we talked about it in pre-production, John Smith. Ryan told Chelsea Green is in Ring of Honor right now, but Laurel Van Ness, that crazy bride, and that they're best friends, so that would be a fight of her life. That if you get the fight, Sami Owens, Sami Zayn, and Kevin Owens, wow, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins, Cesaro, these feuds between best friends, Edge and Christian, or they're brothers, right?
Yeah.
So you get Laurel Van Ness back here.
I don't know. I got Deonna winning. I think she's been the MVP for the past year, so I think they're gonna let her keep the title at Slammiversary.
That is correct, John Smith. The mystery opponent is irrelevant because Deonna Purrazzo is just going to retain anyway, even if it's CM Punk. Just so you know, Tyler Adelle, he did not send me his picks of Slammiversary, but he is actually pretty consistent. Anytime there's question marks on pwp.com, he'll check them off. So if anyone's want to go on the Tyler Adelle bandwagon with the question marks.
Point of note, last week, the week before, the Impact in 60, the 1 hour that follows the Impact on Thursday night, was on the hot mess, Laurel Van Ness.
Nice. The jilted bride. Who jilted her? Well, it was the Blade, right? It was what was his name? In Braxton Sutter or something like that. Braxton Sutton, something like that.
Not
anyway. The sheriff's department approached Sami Callihan during a backstage interview, which sounds to me like it's a regular occurrence because Sami said, "I did nothing this time," and he said it twice. So I think this is a regular thing where Sami Callihan gets approached by police. He was taken away for assault and battery on Don Callis. Well played by Don, trying to get out of the contract signing. Didn't work. Turns out it was Kenny Omega dressed as Sami. On the attack. Cue Sami Zayn's intro, John the County. Sami Callihan, sorry. Yeah, there comes Sami. It's a good thing he's got these telepathic powers to get out of the jail cell into the ring for the contract signing. He came in swinging a baseball bat, eventually signed the contract, did a package pile driver on Kenny, and then powerbombed him through the table. Who's got the balls right now? Who wants Callihan in this match? I don't.
Too early.
Nah, he already, he got his rub by getting to beat the crap out of him this past week. So now Kenny's just going to beat him with the one-winged angel, and that'll be that.
I just got to text from Tyler Adelle to never bet against the question marks. So Tyler's in on the question marks again for this show. John Connie, anything, any way Sami wins this?
I mean, maybe if this was a little later, maybe if Kenny had dropped his AEW title, and maybe it was time to take the Impact title off him too. But I don't think the timing is right here for a title change.
Now, Ryan Joy, the old math equation. I'm going to talk math here for a second. If A is greater than B, or if A is greater than B, and B is greater than C, then A is greater than C, right? Common sense.
Mm-hmm.
3 is greater than 2, 2 is greater than 1, then 3 is greater than 1.
Okay.
So if Sami Callihan beats Kenny Omega, does that mean Tessa Blanchard can beat Kenny Omega?
I guess we could play that out, couldn't we?
There you go.
Kenny Omega holds the title here, though.
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to have that issue. I don't think we're going to have to worry about solving that math problem.
No, I don't think so either. I think Kenny Omega's got this. I just figured I'd just throw it out there. So that will do it for Impact and Slammiversary. We're going to switch gears to the WWE. And before we do that, want to bring in a very, very special guest. Let's get these off here. I'm going to pull the Johns down for the second just to make sure she gets the proper due in the top row. Ladies and gentlemen, Maggie May. She's an intellectual Maggie May. Oh, all right, Maggie May Joy, welcome to the Essential Wrestling Podcast. How are things going today? We're so glad to have you on.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Things are great.
All right, and the reason why, as I'm sure I've been bugging Ryan and making sure for weeks now that you were on for this, because in my private pool on ProWrestlingPick'em.com, you had predicted Backlash correctly, and you had predicted Hell in a Cell correctly. You are 12. I forget the number is 12-0, 13-0, whatever it is. You have not lost yet, so we are going to give you your proper due. Let you speak your mind. And to tell you the truth, I want to hear your theories on this.
I think this is how you end my streak here, Al.
Well, in that case, we won't have you on anymore. I know there's a couple bucks on the line in my pool, so we'll leave you off screen if that's the case. Here are our standings minus Maggie May going into it because it's not fun. Yeah, 12 matches. She's 12-0. John Smith 11-1 with 48. I went perfect on Hell in a Cell, so I got back in the race of things. And here are the scorings for Money in the Bank. 5 points for the WWE and Universal Championship matches, 3 points for all other matches, 1 point for the non-title matches. So that's standard scoring. But the Money in the Bank matches themselves will be worth 15 points. So that is the perfect pay-per-view bonus. And now the Money in the Bank cash-in wager is live. We will get to that at the very, very end. Real quick recap from Raw that was not Money in the Bank related. Let's get this up here. Excuse me, I'm running out of time here. Sheamus defeated Humberto Carrillo quickly after a broke kick. A pre-match attack by Sheamus took Carrillo in. Post-match attack on Carrillo was thwarted by Damian Priest. So look for that going forward. And your weekly Eva Marie update. The Alexis Playground is just not up to par. Not to her liking. It's gross. It's disgusting. I completely agree, Eva. She just flat out bounced. And that's how we ended that. On SmackDown, we had a little bit of a different story here. As we discussed that Tegan Nox and Shotzi Blackheart, they did surprise tag team. They came out. They defeated Natalya and Tamina after a bull pit senton by Shotzi on Natalya. And I'll tell you what, if you watch that, Tegan Nox's shocked face, on par. Like she was never injured. It's right back on screen. Maggie May, real quick, your thoughts on Shotzi and Nox? I guess they're going to be called on the main roster, getting called up.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited to see them on the main roster. Hopefully they get used in the right context here, but they've done a lot of really good stuff in NXT. I think Shotzi is got the character and the personality that I think the main roster needs right now from the women's division for sure.
She's got that different look that Vince hopefully will fall in love with and work out for her. And we had an unfortunate injury. So on behalf of the Essential Wrestling Podcast, I would like to apologize to Bayley for being injured. She was training hard to get back her SmackDown Women's title for us. So she's right. This one's on us. It is our fault. So Bayley, we are sorry. Please get well soon, and more importantly, please forgive us. So Bayley is out at Money in the Bank. The SmackDown Women's title match as a whole was out at Money in the Bank. They are going to give this one to the live crowd. So Friday night, when SmackDown hits the road, Carmella will be challenging Bianca Belair for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Maggie May Joy, who do you got in this one?
The strongest, the fastest, the toughest, the EST for sure. Hands down.
Do you have a ponytail to whip around when you say that? Yeah, that's
I do not, but I wish I did.
Okay, Ryan Joy, who do you got in this one?
Yeah, I will agree. I don't think there's any chance that Carmella is going to win this match, considering she hasn't won hardly any matches all year yet. So,
John DeConnie.
Yes, I have to concur. Bianca's not dropping that title this week.
All right, John Smith.
Give me Carmella. No, just kidding. I got Bianca.
Did anybody? Okay, if Bayley did not get injured, did anybody have Bayley on Sunday?
I hadn't thought about it yet.
All right.
No, not in an I Quit match. Not in an I Quit match. No, I think she's a coward enough. Her character is cowardly enough where she can quit.
Yeah, but when you bring out like a butcher knife and you put her hair on a chopping block, you better say I quit, right? Like that's
or somebody could
that would have been gone.
Well, it's clearly a weave.
Yeah, she could just add another 10 pounds of yarn to it another time.
There's a 0% chance that's her real hair.
John Smith, do not break Al Carl's heart. Santa Claus is real. Tooth Fairy's real.
All right, let's get into Money in the Bank. Let's get to the matches that are worth the points here. SmackDown started with Roman Reigns, Jimmy, and Jey Uso all on the same page and a nice little family hug at the end. Something I did a lot of this weekend. Edge called out Roman. They brawled. The Mysterios returned. They got into it with the Usos, so that rivalry is reigniting. We have the Universal Championship match. I guess somewhat of a rematch from WrestleMania. Any chance Daniel Bryan gets involved in this, John Smith?
I didn't even think of that, but no, I don't think so. I think there's more of a chance that Brock Lesnar gets involved than Daniel Bryan, but I'm not calling that shot or anything. I got no, not Kenny Omega getting involved either. I got Roman retaining. I don't think Edge wins this one though.
All right, John DeConnie.
Yeah, I'm with John Smith on this one. I think Roman retains.
Ryan Joy.
I don't see a scenario where Edge wins this match. I can't even think of one.
I can think of one. We'll talk about it later. I'm going to go with Roman as well. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I'm definitely not. No, Maggie May, unfortunately, what I'm going to be doing here, I am a very chivalrous person. I always open the door for my wife. Unfortunately, because we're probably going to piggyback off your picks if you go first. So we're pretty much going to play a game here. We're all going to make our picks, and then we're all going to cheer if we agree with you. So Maggie May, who is going to win this match?
I've got Roman as well.
Yeah! Boys, here we go. On Raw, Rhea Ripley defeated Natalya with the Riptide. Charlotte with the post-match attack on Rhea's leg. The figure four, she did hanging off the side of the apron, a la what Bret Hart used to do with the ring post. These guys have been going after each other's knees, chop block after chop block, Ryan Joy. Who do you got in this one? Not to mention, I'm sorry, before we say, this is like, so WrestleMania was, so Backlash, this is match 3 in their series, correct?
Is that all?
Yeah. At pay-per-views, 3 consecutive pay-per-views. Yeah, they had Backlash, they had Hell in a Cell, and now.
Feels like they've been wrestling for nonstop.
Fight forever. Fight forever.
I'm going to take Charlotte here.
All right. John DeConnie.
Yeah, I've already lost points betting on Charlotte twice already, so might as well. Charlotte again.
Well, Charlotte won at Hell in a Cell. You got the points for Charlotte, John Smith.
Yeah, well, I got Charlotte winning this one because mostly because Rhea came out the strongest, came out looking the strongest on Raw. So that's usually how they go. Yeah,
that was the go home show. Rhea, Charlotte got the thing in the chop block in and the figure four. So I'm going to go Charlotte Flair as well. I was thinking she was going to win the belt at Hell in a Cell. Now they're just going to, delay it. Might as well. Maybe she wins by count out this time when they fight again at SummerSlam. I don't know. Maggie May, we're all on Charlotte. So where are we right? Are we wrong? What's going on?
This is where I'm going to differ with you. I'm definitely going Rhea on this one.
Can I change my pick?
We've seen Charlotte fight everyone. I mean, I know that the draft's coming up. I know that they're calling up some people and whatnot, but I don't think Rhea's time's up yet.
Okay.
I think it's one of those things where I think it's a way to get another reign under her belt where she could just lose to the Money in the Bank. Not on the pay-per-view, but like it's just a good way to get another what is she, 13-time right now? Get her up to 14 or whatever.
Right.
That's a good point.
In two singles matches that I actually was pretty excited to see on Raw, Ivar actually legitimately beat AJ Styles. How about that? How's that float, you guys? Ivar defeated AJ Styles with that sit-down splash thing he does out of the corner, clean win. Omos defeated Eric with the two-handed choke slam. So they announced that the Raw Tag Team Championships will be on the line at Money in the Bank to replace the SmackDown Women's Championship. So John DeConnie, who do you like in this one?
I think I would not be upset either way, but I'm going to go with AJ and Omos retaining. I just think, obviously if they lose, AJ is going to be the one to get pinned, but I just think they don't. I don't think they want to put a blemish on Omos just yet.
Brian Joy.
Okay, I'm going to pick the Viking Raiders, and let me tell you why. I think Ivar is this year's Otis, and he's got a win over AJ Styles, and it's Money in the Bank, and that's where Otis had the biggest win of his career. So I think the Viking Raiders are going to win this one. Ivar, just like Otis, the ladies and everything. So yeah, Viking Raiders.
Yeah. That's why I last Maggie about that. I think everybody thinks Ivar's cute. John.
I got. This one's tough too, but I got the champs retaining.
Yeah, I get no reason to bet against AJ Styles and Omos right now. I think they have to go into Vegas with those belts. Maggie May, who's right here?
I think it's AJ and Omos as well.
Sorry,
Ryan.
It's all right. You're making dinner.
In the WWE Championship picture, so the show opened. Xavier Woods, albeit by a Raw roll-up, he got the win over WWE Champion Bobby Lashley. So everything that Kofi Kingston's been saying is coming to fruition. I think I mentioned it a couple of weeks ago. Bobby's losing focus. Bobby realizes it now, though. So he left the arena, but he came back. He came back pissed and angry, and he wants to get back to business, was I believe the quote he said. He trashed the MVP lounge, and it's all business Bobby. And now it's Kofi's in a whole different animal, John Smith, in this match. Kofi's dealing with somebody completely different than he has been.
Yeah, Kofi has zero shot of winning this match. I got Bobby all the way.
I'm going to agree with that one. Brian Joy.
When Lashley is facing Kofi, his first name is Bob. So let's make that correction first.
I think Rusev was called Bob Roode. Rusev did that too. Yeah.
Yes. This kind of bleeds into my Money in the Bank pick as well. I think Bobby Lashley is going to destroy two members of the New Day, and I think there's going to be a third one waiting in the wings for him.
All right, John DeConnie, to get to you.
Not yet, but yeah, I think I think I'm going to say a prayer for Kofi Kingston because Bobby Lashley is very upset, and that can't be good for Kofi Kingston.
All right. Maggie May, how do we do?
I'm going Lashley as well.
Yay! All right, I'm 3-1 so far, boys. Any particular reason why you care to extend, or you just want to go forward?
There's just no way. I mean, they're building Bobby up, right? I think that seeing where he ended up, like you said, he's focused, right? So I think he just destroys Kofi. Unfortunately, I'm a big Kofi fan, but I think he gets destroyed.
Oh, yeah. We all are. Remember Kofi Mania all those years ago? I can't remember how long ago that was.
That's right.
Yeah. Can you explain to me how long ago Kofi Mania was?
I remember how it ended and how quickly it might end.
So here we go. Now we have the fun part of the picks, the 2 Money in the Bank ladder matches. So on SmackDown, like we said, Bayley got hurt, so Carmella is now challenging Bianca Belair. So she is actually pulled from the Money in the Bank ladder match. She was replaced by Liv Morgan. I guess she needs to let Sonya Deville finish her thoughts next time before interrupting. Sonya scared the crap out of me. Natalya was also added by Sonya Deville. So those two are in. And then there was a Fatal 4-Way match last night on Raw where Nikki Ash, Gary's pick from Scotland, she got the win over Asuka, Naomi, and Alexa Bliss with a variation of the Raw roll-up. That was a clever roll-up on Asuka. So we have 2 former Money in the Bank winners in this match in Asuka and Alexa Bliss. And not to mention, I'll just throw it up there. Last year, or a couple of years ago when Bayley won, there I am on TV, right to the right of Bayley, right there with the Rock Out with your Gronk Out shirt. She came over and celebrated. I was front row at Money in the Bank up in Hartford, Connecticut, along with my co-owner of Pro Wrestling Pick'em, Rob DePasquale, over on he bought the Money in the Bank briefcase that she grabbed after she cashed in on Charlotte. Now, the weird thing is with the women's Money in the Bank ladder match, they don't hold on to that briefcase all that long. Asuka never had to. She just won the title. Bayley, as we saw, cashed in night of. Alexa Bliss cashed in night of. Carmella was the last one we really see hold on to it for as long as she did before she cashed in on Charlotte on a very iconic debut. So, Don DeConnie, who do you have in the women's Money in the Bank match?
Okay, so we still don't know participant number 8.
Now,
so
you have to mention that.
I could see Sonya coming out this week and putting herself in it.
Ooh.
I could see, because we're in front of live fans, I could see either Becky or Sami coming back and being plugged in there. But I'm going to assume that it's nothing that outrageous, and somebody gets plugged in there that I don't necessarily think has a great shot. And judging by the 7 that are already named, it seems like the storyline is leading towards Liv grabbing the briefcase.
John DeConnie, thank you, buddy. I'm on the Liv Morgan bandwagon. I can't pick heads or tails of any of this. I try to do this as process of elimination. Like Alexa Bliss and Asuka, I think they're out. They already won it. They don't need it. Naomi, that'd be great if Naomi won it, but I just think they just never want to do anything with her. Natalya, no. Nikki Ash, on such a roll right now. I feel like she doesn't need it either. I feel there's a story going in. It's Liv trying and trying and trying. And I don't think she was going to be in until the very last minute, but I guess the injury changed that. So I'm going to go Liv Morgan. I'm going Jersey Strong, Ryan Joy.
I think Liv Morgan is going to be the person who's like reaching for the briefcase when Brock Lesnar's music hits, type of situation.
Yeah. It's
the person that we all want to win. We're excited for her to win. She's about to win, and whoever the question marks are, or something like that, whoever the big heel coming back is going to be is going to win. So, I'm going to go question marks at the moment.
Yeah, so this Sasha Banks is a SmackDown wrestler. They could announce her on Friday, John Smith.
Yeah, the whole story was Liv Morgan, trying. She'll get close, but she won't get there. And I got Zelina Vega winning it because we need to care about Zelina Vega. And I don't think anybody really does right now. And she's going to – I mean, like we all – I don't know how you guys feel personally about her, but like they haven't given us much of a reason to really care much about her. And I think the briefcase works best on a heel. If it's going to be around, if they're not going to cash in night of, which Zelina Vega's on SmackDown and Bianca's not even fighting on the pay-per-view, so I think that works out. So I got Zelina winning it.
All right, Maggie May, who's right here? Or are we all wrong?
Ooh, I went Nikki. All
right.
She's, the one thing for me, I wanted to go question mark too, but the one thing for Nikki is that they did have her win against Rhea in that whole Rhea Charlotte series. Yeah. So there is a story to go back to there. So yeah. I'm going Nikki.
Okay. Like I said, the one thing to take into consideration here, like there's a quick, it's almost like I normally look at it like, okay, who from Raw, who from SmackDown. The draft is next month, so that that whole situation is just completely out of the window. As Maggie mentioned earlier, the draft. So and now we have the men. Ricochet last night, he defeated John Morrison in an amazing match, a false count anywhere match after a splash from the top rope onto Morrison through a ladder on the outside. Riddle was also involved in that match, not wrestling, but he made The Miz look like a turtle, dropping him on the back with his wheelchair, rendering him completely useless. Jinder Mahal stole Drew McIntyre's sword, so Drew McIntyre trashed Jinder Mahal's motorcycle, so that was Jinder's story. And then on SmackDown, Baron Corbin, oh, poor Baron. Baron Corbin's backstage and saying Money in the Bank is a must win for him. It can turn his entire life around. Must win situation. Game 7 for Baron Corbin. And he did not get the job done. Yeah, he did not get the job done, even though but I guess the big winner was Shinsuke Nakamura. Not only did he win the qualifying match, he got a nice new Mercedes out of it. So he went to an auction, got a nice little Mercedes. It said King Crabbin on the front of it. So that was pretty cool license plate. Then Seth Rollins defeated Cesaro with the stomp to qualify. Cesaro was a bloody mess in that match. That was pretty cool. Big E and Kevin Owens, they qualified as well. They were doing commentary throughout the night. So it was going to be a fatal 4-way match on SmackDown. That should be fun. If you want to throw a winner of that one, feel free. But here are the 8 men in the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. Last year's Otis. Let's just leave that as it is. You think they're going to do something of a surprise like Otis again? I was pretty hell-bent on AJ Styles. I forget who Tyler picked. But maybe Johnny Drip Chip, John Smith. Is this going to be Moist in the Bank? Money in the Moist? Money in the Moist.
Moist. I don't know. I don't know how you would work in it. Moisty. I don't know. But I don't think he's winning it as much as I would love to see it because I'm a huge John Morrison fan. But I like. Well, for the 4-way on SmackDown, I like Big E to win that. But I like Riddle to win the Money in the Bank because I still have hopes out for him versus him and Randy Orton. Randy as champ and him with the Money in the Bank briefcase because that would be a very, very fun dynamic on TV. And even if that doesn't happen, I think Riddle is like the next big thing for them. And this will just catapult his career.
That is the big question, Ryan Joy. Is Riddle making Vince McMahon laugh hard enough to the point where Vince is going to give him the Money in the Bank briefcase where Riddle said he would challenge the tag team champions?
I see the idea of him cashing in for the tag championships has me questioning like a lot of things. Like he could win this match. AJ and Omos could win their match. They could do the cash in that night, whole thing. That could all happen. I kind of said earlier, though, I think Bobby Lashley's going to walk all over Kofi. He's probably going to walk all over Woods in the process. And I think they're going to need somebody to come in and defend them. And I think that somebody is Big E.
They're going to need somebody to feel the power. I'm with you. I got Big E on this one. That's what I came down. It's between Big E and Riddle. And like I said, if Big E gets that win on Friday, I'm jumping to the Riddle ship. I'll tell you that right now, John McConnell.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what would happen. And it's going to happen if I pick Big E here because that's exactly what happens all the time to me. But I'm going to stay away from that for now. I had Big E winning, all along, especially after the first 4 qualifiers, or first 3 qualifiers at least. And then Drew found his way back in, and I just feel like, resume builder, one more thing to put on his resume. I got Drew winning this.
So you and Gary on Drew. All right, so we got a couple on Riddle, a couple on Big E, a couple on Drew McIntyre. Maggie May, who's right? Survey says
Big E.
All right.
I don't want to say, I don't want to put Ryan on the spot here, but I've had Big E circled here all day. And we were having a conversation earlier today, and he wasn't really leaning that way. So what changed your mind, Ryan?
I don't know. The whole show. Why'd you make your picks?
So now the last – I'm sorry, go for it, Ryan.
The real formula here, because she gets all these perfect pay-per-views, is that she asks me who I'm going to pick, and she picks one off of me, and then she gets that one right, and I get it wrong. So that's what's happened the last 2 times.
I'm nervous, though. We've been pretty aligned here, so this could be dangerous for me.
Yeah. Well, actually, here's the true test of that. Tyler Adelle. I forgot to say his pick.
Yeah.
Tyler Adelle.
Stay away from his picks.
Stay away from him. So who did Tyler pick? Let me just pull this up real quick.
I picked
All right,
Edge.
Bobby Lashley. He's going with Edge. All right, we're in the clear with that. He's going with Edge. Rhea Ripley, Seth Rollins, Alexa Bliss. And then he's calling the cash-in. He's picking Edge because he wants Rollins to cash in on Edge. He's going to pick the cash in right away on the first night. So they had an interaction on Smackdown on Friday, and they still remember 2014. So I'm not insane. So they're going to do something. That's probably SummerSlam, which is great. But Tyler's going for the Money in the Bank cash-in wager now at ProWrestlingPick'em.com. This is the only way you can lose points. You can do the cash-in wager. If you say yes, if they cash in, you get a bonus 20 points. But if you say yes, you're going to prevent them cashing in. And if they don't, you lose 10. Now, it's just on the cash-in, not on whether or not they win the title or not. The bell rings, and it's officially cashed in. You get the 20 points. So this is men's or women's, either or. Tyler's got he's gambling. He wants 20 points on the men's. Anybody, John DeConnie, any cash-ins?
I am horrible at picking this, so probably one will happen. But if I pick one, it'll be the other. So I'm just going to say no, not putting the money or the points on the line for either one.
Yeah, I predicted one cash-in correctly. I got Sheamus back in 2015 on Roman Reigns. Sheamus 535. Ryan Joy, any cash-ins?
Yeah, I'm not punching the button on Pro Wrestling Pick'em, but if there was going to be one, I think it would be the women's.
All right, that'd be three out of the last 4 years, John Smith, right away.
Yeah, I don't think the women's is because I got a SmackDown woman winning it. And then, I don't think Riddle would cash in. So, no, I don't have it.
Don't discount that right away, John Smith, because – let's say it's Zelina Vega wins. She could have an attack on Bianca Belair in the backstage area and then call for her match right there.
Yeah, and drag her out to the ring, I guess.
By the hair, yeah.
By the hair, there you go. Maggie May, is anybody cashing in on Sunday?
I don't think so. I think with my pick with Big E, he's got too much personality to waste that on cashing it in on night one, right? So yeah. I don't think so. And I don't think for the women's either.
All right, sounds good. So we're going to wrap this up. We're coming up on the 2-hour mark. NXT is about to start. They have a honey of a show going, so we don't want to miss anything. Please go to the Primetime Rundown, powered by StreamYard with Joey Jarzenka, Ian Schreier, and Rob DeLuca. Is now airing at 7 p.m. on Monday nights as they take you through the wide world of sports right here on all the Eastern Observer platforms. For more information, please go to theeasternobserver.com. Tune into the Daily Wrestling News Show Monday through Thursday at 10 a.m., sometimes Fridays, and get your morning cup of joy with Ryan and his band and merry co-hosts as they sort through all the poppycock. Wrestle right here on all of the Eastern Observer platforms. The Body Slam Brigade newsletter, over 4,200 subscribers. You're probably up to 43 or 44 right now, right? Right?
44. Yeah, 44.
4,400 subscribers receive this weekly column. Make sure you go to minutestobelltime.com to subscribe. The Body Slam Brigade by Ryan for you for free. Please go to all of your music providers and make sure you get the Black Cats NYC new album, Free Cake. They are the official music band of the Eastern Observer. Free Cake by the Black Cats NYC. As always, the Eastern oh my God, I did it again. I'm messing up my own promo. The Essential Wrestling Podcast is sponsored by ProWrestlingPick'em.com, the Pro Wrestling Pick'em internet leader in sports entertainment today. Join us in the Essential Wrestling public pool and play against us, or create a pool with you and your friends. ProWrestlingPick'em.com. Play against your friends. Play against the universe. And honestly, guys, I'm not lying. Maggie May likes it too. Join us back here on the Essential Wrestling Podcast for episode 63. We will be back here next Tuesday going over the results of everything that we just talked about and how Maggie May whooped all of our asses yet again. We are over 2 hours. We're just going to skip the endings right here. Maggie May, thank you so much for joining us today. I hope you had a lot of fun. For John Smith, for John DeConnie, Ryan Joy at minutestobelltime.com. Guys, this is the last time I'm going to put it up. She's back, and she is going to be on Smackdown at least for the next month or so until she gets drafted somewhere. But Tegan Knox, glad to have you back. Alexa Bliss, we love you. Larry Steve, always in our hearts. John DeConnie, take it home.
Thanks for joining us. And as always, we wish you the best in all your future endeavors.
So Ryan did say he did buy a bottle of the Nugenics Total Tea. How was it?